Welcome back to Mass Appeal. Whether your baby just won't nap, or they won't nap long enough, or they can't get on a schedule, or maybe you want to nap too, the issue is common because naps can be very tricky.
That's so true. But here to help us is Beth Grams-Haxby. She's a sleep and parenting consultant from Florence, and she joins us this morning with helpful advice. So parents out there are saying, oh yes, let's talk about naps.
Great, and I'm happy to talk about naps. So thank you so much for having me here.
Beneficial. I mean, they're necessary.
They're absolutely necessary. Naps are actually just one part of the sleep-wake rhythms that develop in brains in the first months of life. That's the circadian rhythms, what's known as the biological clock. And so the real naps aren't really occurring until children have developed those mature circadian rhythms. So that sleep and wake that happens all day and all night for newborn parents and babies is because they haven't really developed the ability to sleep a solid chunk of time at night.
As a non-parent, I have so many questions about these kind of things.
Yes.
How long until that rhythm is established? How long until babies, much like us, will sleep in an appropriate pattern?
Yes. Well, they can. The key word is that they can after about 4 months when the circadian rhythms have developed. Now, some babies develop them sooner, so that's why someone is blessed with a baby who can sleep through the night or sleep a good chunk of the night.
Oh, you love those parents.
At 8 weeks, and they love having those babies for sure. But that's not as common. Most common is that it takes babies longer, and parents have to kind of nudge them along to be able to get them to do that.
So let's talk about common problems when it comes to naps.
Yes.
There are several different things that parents face.
Absolutely. Parents can talk about, my baby just doesn't sleep enough in the day. And that my baby also may just sleep briefly, a half an hour. And they may also just be so irregular. And so parents really worry about this. And part of the way to work with that is that you want from early on, one of the things that's interesting about naps is that they're sort of a changing landscape all through childhood. So early on, children are going back to sleep within an hour and a half or two of waking. By the time they're 2 years old, they can stay awake longer, and that's because the reason for naps is to be able to get the rest you need to be able to take the best advantage of your learning environment, which is everything around them for children. But it's also regulated by rate of development, so that when children are developing so much in those first months, they need to sleep a lot. And then as children aren't developing quite as fast, they can stay awake longer. So a 2-year-old, may be all the way to only taking 1 nap a day. A 1-year-old is still taking 2 naps a day, and that change is really bumpy. It's a bumpy process.
Now, Beth, our viewers at home, they were just looking at a graphic of all of the common reasons why babies might not sleep, and one of them was that the baby only wants to rest and sleep on a parent.
Yes.
How do you fix that? Because a lot of parents, I know one, once the baby goes to sleep, that's their time to do all the things they can't do.
Absolutely. So parents really want to be able to have children learn to sleep by themselves in a crib on their own, but they may be most comforted by them on their bodies. So it's a process of helping that baby to learn, because what the baby gets from being on a parent is that soothing, that relaxing, that slowing down. So as a parent, you need to help your child learn to be able to do that without you, which is a process.
As much as you love cuddling with them, parents need their time. Let's talk about tips.
Yes. So
what can we do?
The first thing to do is to simply be aware that you want to look for those signs of drowsiness. This is for you as an adult, for older children, and for babies. Look for the signs of drowsiness, because that's when a child's going to be able to go to sleep more readily. So sometimes when a child isn't taking a nap, if you push the nap earlier, they can do it better. The other thing is to be aware that being overtired is the most common reason for a child not being able to take a nap. Sleep begets sleep, so that the more that you sleep, for children or adults, the easier it is for you to go to sleep, and the easier it is for you to stay asleep. And so that sleep is better and becomes better. The other things to do is simply try to, you can try to work to set a schedule, and that would mean if you can get your baby to sleep somehow or other, to get your baby to sleep at that same time each morning and afternoon, so that you can work toward that.
Beth, these are great tips, and we're going to have a whole lot more on our website later today, but I'm sure a big segment of people watching now are saying, well, you know what, I'm an adult, I would like to nap too. What are some tips for us napping, and are those power naps beneficial?
Yes. Napping is so important for us to have. Overtired, in other words, overtired brains, overtired folks don't learn as well, can't retain information as well, have a hard time being able to, deal with the tasks of life. So if we could, as a culture, start instituting naps for adults as well, it's really important.
So unfortunately, we're out of
Yes.
time, Beth, but a
Yes.
power nap is such a thing.
It is absolutely, and it is 15 minutes or less, and there are companies now that are instituting nap rooms and allowing their employees to nap because they know their productivity is going to be better and they're going to be able to be, better employees for them.
What do you say, 15-minute power nap right now?
I was going to say, I would love to talk to certain employers. Yeah, maybe we should institute ourselves a little nap
Get
policy.
comfortable here, Beth.
Thank you, Beth. Yeah, shall we? Thank